And it was so peaceful. And I just felt really good. And there was a choir singing. There was a massive choir singing. It was so many voices. And I was singing along with them. I was just such peace. I had never known that love. It was a beautiful, beautiful love. And I'll tell you something. I could still feel it today.
I'm here today with LeShi. LeShi, in 2014, August 14th of 2014, was in a terrible car accident when a drunk driver hit her in a head-on collision. She experienced a death experience or near-death experience, and she's here to share that with us today. LeShi, thank you so much for being my guest. I'm really honored to have you with me.
I'm honored to be here. I'm actually thankful to be alive. You know, on August 14th, something happened. Unexpected. Like things happen all the time, unexpected. I was leaving my mom's house after getting her hair ready for church for the next morning. As I was on my way home, I was maybe 1,000 feet from my home. They always say something happens right in the neighborhood. In your neighborhood, something terrible happens a lot of times. I was driving home. On my way home, there's a 2-lane highway. I was going west and they were coming south. It's just how the street turned. There was the 2-lane highway, and I looked up ahead and I saw a white F-350 or 450. It was a big truck. The light was on, and the lady, I didn't know at the time it was a lady, but I saw the head down. Now I was over 1,000 feet away from her, but some kind of way, something said, look up. And I looked, and I looked up and out, and I saw this, and I said, oh my goodness. So I pulled to the side. Now, because it's a 2-lane street, highway street, there was nowhere but dirt for me to pull into off the road. So I set over off the road. I had my 2 sons with me. DJ was in the 5th grade at the time, and my son Adam, he was older. My son Adam said, Mom, he says, why did you pull over? And so I turned and looked at him. I said, because they're going to have an accident and I don't want to be a part of it. They, meaning it was a car in front of me about maybe 500 or 600 feet. And so I pulled off. And as the car continued to go up ahead, the person driving the truck began to go over the yellow line. And I knew they were going to wreck. And as soon as I turned my head to talk to my son, I felt something like, it wasn't a loud crash, a bang, a boom. I just felt like something hit us like that. And I said, oh my God, Adam, did they hit us? And I turned back and I went unconscious. Okay. And I was in and out of consciousness. I never knew how bad the car was because it didn't sound like a big crash. It didn't even feel like a big impact, but it was. The airbag opened up on both sides in the front and out my steering wheel, out the passenger area, and on the side panel of my door. When that panel airbag opened up, it hit my head, it busted my head open. I never knew. It was so quick, just like blinking the eye. And I said, I came back to conscious. I said, help me get out. Help me out. My son, DJ, he was in the back seat. Later on, I found out that there was a lady that let him use her cell phone. He called my husband, and my husband came up the street because we wasn't that far from home. The lady allowed him to use her phone, and he called for help. I'm in the car, I'm trying to get out, but my foot is stuck. My left foot was stuck between the brake and the accelerator. It's when the impact hit us, my foot slipped in between and it got locked in between the brake and accelerator. And I kept saying, help me out. And I said, Adam, help me out. I didn't know that my son at the time, his shoulder went behind his back and his arm was bleeding and he was in a lot of pain. He was like, ah. And I was so sad. I was like, oh my God. And I kept trying to get out. I heard my husband and then I was out, unconscious. The next thing I hear, no one ever told me that I was bleeding from my head at all. I lost 6 pints of blood by the time I was at the hospital. It took them an hour, the fire department and paramedics and ambulance. It took the paramedics, fire department, and ambulance drivers. They were there working on me. It took them an hour and 2 jaws of life to cut me out. So I never knew all of those people were there working on me. I didn't have a clue. Nobody was there but me and my son and my husband. I never even saw the lady or anybody else. I was unconscious and I was in this place. It was like an auditorium. It was a big place and it was filled with people. I didn't see any people, but I knew they were there because I could feel them. And you could feel you, like when we were in school, when I was in school, we would have events. We had a real auditorium. A lot of schools now, they don't have real auditoriums, but we had a real auditorium. And it's almost like a movie theater, how you walk down to the front and sit there in front of the big screen. I was that person. I walked all the way to the front and I was in the front row. And when I went to slide into the front row, I couldn't go any further. So it was like, it was 2 seats. It was the one on the end, and then it was the one next to the end. And that's where I was at. So it was still 1 seat open. So all the other seats were filled. And you could tell it's filled because you could feel a lot of people there in that row. But I didn't see them, but I knew it. It was a knowing. And it was so peaceful. And I just felt really good. And there was a choir singing. There was a massive choir singing. It was so many voices. And I was singing along with them. It was a worship song. I hadn't heard the song since I was a little girl. The song was, there is no secret what God can do. What he's done for others, he'll do for you. His arms is wide open, he's calling you. There is no secret what God can do. Now, when we were younger, they sung it really slow, right? But this choir sung it. It was not on the beat that we're on. It was a whole different tone. It was a whole different beat. It was upbeat. It was beautiful and it was massive, right? I couldn't see them, but I knew they were there. And I knew they were going to the side because I was swaying with them. It was a knowing. It was like a knowing. As they went this way, I could feel myself going this way and this way, rocking along with the choir, but I don't remember seeing anybody physically, but I knew they were there. So I think that the soul connection, that we're all connected to each other. I didn't never have to talk to you because I knew and felt you. I knew the people was next to me because I can know and I felt them. And we all was moving the same way. It was just a knowing. And I had my hands, I knew I was in the very front because at first I had my hands flat on something when I went in. So I never sat down. I just stayed up and I was singing and I was moving with the other people on my row and the choir. In a distance, in a distance, it wasn't light. It wasn't light at all. But in a distance, you could see like light, but it wasn't like bright light. It was almost like I have lights on in the other part, but it's a low light. And I felt that. I could see that, but it wasn't like, oh my God, what are those people over there doing? It wasn't anything like that because it was an auditorium. And in the auditorium, sometimes they have the low lights. I wasn't afraid. I was never afraid. I was just such peace. I had never known that love. It was a beautiful, beautiful love. And I'll tell you something. I could still feel it today. When I meet with certain people and I connect with certain, I can feel that love. Okay. And I don't know how long I was there, but it had to be a long time. And the reason I said it had to be a long time because it took them an hour to cut me out the car. I didn't know any of these people was around me. The fire department, I didn't know any of that. I didn't know they were working on me. I didn't know that they were cutting doors off and cutting the top of the car off to get me out because they used 2 jaws of life. But I want to say this here. I do remember, and it's as a blink of the eye. I remember some kind of way. When I was in my car, I was looking straight ahead. Okay. When I was unconscious, right? And this is really something. When I was unconscious, I could see the lady behind me in my car. I could see her full face, her full uniform, trying to wake me up. And I could see me move my head like I was with the choir. And I could see that. And then I was back with the choir. I never knew all those people was around me. And I'll tell you something. When they finally, as they were extracting me out the car, they put all kind of stuff around my head, my body. I never knew it. The only reason I knew it because my husband was taking pictures. I never knew all those people was around me, right? The lady was trying to wake me up, telling me to keep my eyes closed because they're going to cut the top of the car off. They didn't want glass to get in my eyes. And I was back in front of with the choir in a place of love and peace. And I'll tell you something, as they began to pull me out of the car, I must have entered back into my body because I began to scream. It was very painful because I felt my body separate. I had, my left femur was broken in 3 places, both of my knees, my ankle, my arm, my head. I had lost 6 pints of blood, so I had to get a blood transfusion. And that was a whole nother thing because I was like, oh my God, I can catch somebody else's issues. But I didn't have a choice because they said your heart can stop beating because I didn't have enough blood. I was at such peace, I never cried. I was never afraid. I told my mom she came to the emergency room. And I said, Mom, I heard a choir singing. And she said, a choir? I said, Mom, I heard a choir singing. I didn't see them, but I felt them. I said, it was really dark. I said, it was really weird, because you never really experienced stuff like that, right? But I said, it was so peaceful. They stapled my head back together. They stapled my ankle back together, because that's where I was bleeding at, and my ankle. It was cut open. And I felt every staple, and I said, every time they, staple. And I was like, give me some pain medicine. They said, we can't. We already gave you all we can give you. That was something, it was very hard, but that was an experience that I needed. I want to say something. The day before my car accident, okay, I was talking to my oldest sister. And I was telling my sister, I said, you know something? I'm exhausted. I need a break, right? Because being a mother and 20 years old, and I've always worked for myself. So I've been working for a long time, mothering. I have 2 sons, I have a husband, and I worked, had my own business. My husband had his own business, and just work, 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 work. I was needing a vacation. So when I said, oh, I need a break, I didn't mean breaks. I was thinking in my mind a cruise in the south of France. But I never said those words. My intentions was to be relaxed and to take a cruise. I never said those words. So I got what the universe gave me quickly because I had a need. And when you have intentions and a need and you say the word, it comes where your vibration level is at, high enough or low enough, wherever it's at, and you grab that and it comes to you. And within 24 hours, I was hit head on, had multiple breaks, ended up in a skilled nursing facility where they bathed me, exercised me, everything I said to my sister. I want somebody to cook for me, clean for me, massage me, shampoo my hair, cook me food, feed me, and we laughed. In the skilled nursing facility, they exercise me, massage me, bathe me, shampoo my hair, cook for me, change my diaper. I was in a diaper. And I said, oh my God, how did this happen to me? And then it came back to my mind. Remember what you said? So I didn't mean it that way, but that's how you said it. So you have to be careful what you say because words will manifest quickly depending on your vibration level, right? And so, I had to tell you that part. So I want to say something. I was in getting ready to go to surgery. It's preparing me for surgery. And I was at such peace. I felt a beautiful light, just a beautiful joy, happiness, peace. It was all like a ball, like I was being carried. And I wasn't afraid. My husband was really upset, sad. My sister, she was crying. They were going down to the surgery room with me. They were pushing me, the doctor, the nurses. And as we got to the surgery room, the doctor came out and he introduced himself to me and the anesthesiologist. And I prayed. I said, well, can I pray for you? how did I do that? How do you pray for someone when you just had a tragic accident? How do you do that? Because, and I didn't know it then, but when you're in a space of love, it supersedes everything. You find yourself in a place of comfort, peace, joy. I can still feel it. And sometimes I yearn for them. Right? It's nothing like that here. You know, people say, oh, I love you so much. Oh, I love you so much. You know, no, I know what real love feels, pure love, right? God's love. After that happened, after surgery, I recovered. I had to go to a skilled nursing facility where I stayed there for a very long time. And they brought me home. I had nurses here at my home. I had to learn how to walk all over again. But I had so many breaks and fractures and screws. I had a rod in my femur, screws in my hip, screws in both of my knees, a metal brace and screws in my arm. I had a cast on. It was so much stuff going on. It was months and months and months. It took me a long time. And I remember having to use a sliding board to get to my bed, to get to the car, to get to the shower, a portable toilet. I couldn't do anything for myself. Nothing. I never cried. I never felt sorry for myself. I was in a place of love. And I'll tell you something. I did not know it at the time. As time progressed and my body started getting a little stronger, in 2015, my husband purchased a restaurant. I was like, oh my God, be something else I have to take care of. So I was still here at home recovering. And I didn't know that then, but there was a plan for my life. We all have plans. We are the hands and feet of God because we are earth keepers. And no one ever told us that. There's a lot of things no one ever told us. They'll say, oh, death is the end. Death is not the end. Fast forward, years went by. I want to say maybe in 20, so my husband bought a restaurant in 2015. In 2021, I received a prophecy. Leave it. Sorry about that. In 2021, I received a prophecy, right? My prayer life changed. My life had changed. I didn't realize how much my life had changed. My life had changed and I didn't even realize it. My prayer life changed, my giving changed, my helping people changed. Now, I've always helped people. I've always was a giver. I can remember back when my oldest son was maybe 3 or 4 years old. I would get together with other Christians and we would go and make food and go to Skid Row and take a table out and set up food and make plates. I grew up in church. All my life as a little girl, I went to church. And we were taught certain things as you grow older. And I received a prophecy and I didn't understand it. I was on a 30-day prayer call with 2 times a day. So on Eastern time, it was 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the evening time. But because I'm Pacific Standard Time, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the evening, afternoon. And so I would get on there and pray with 1,000 people every day. And at the end of the 30-day, I seeded a love offering. And the person over it said, whoever seeded this, God told me to tell you something. Please send me your email address. Right. So I sent him my name and email. I received it, but I didn't understand it. That was 2020, November 2021. It says within 5 months, something is going to baffle your life entirely, right? I'm like, what the heck is that about? Baffle your life entirely. So I didn't understand it. So I folded up and I put it away. In February of 2022, I'm at the restaurant. I went to help out because I would help out a little bit here and a little bit there, but I wasn't just there day and night, day and night. And this lady and her husband came in, right? And so when they came into the restaurant, I said, hi, can I help you? I felt that warmth. I said, oh my God. It was like joy. I had longed for that, right? That was one of the best experience that I've ever had in my entire feeling that love. So I felt it on my face. And I said, oh my God. I said, oh my God. And then I said, can I say something to you? And they said, yeah. I said, can I tell you something? And they said, yes. I said, and I had never in my life said this before. I said, I feel ancestral energy connected to you. And then in my head, I'm like, what did you just say? Just say. I said, I feel ancestral energy connected to you. I feel a mother energy. I'm like, what am I saying? I said, I feel a mother energy, a mother grandmother energy, I said. And I said, I could see the lady, and she's about this tall. So that was like 4 feet something, right? When I put my hand up. And I said, and she looked like this, and she wore hair like this, and her hair was brunette, and blah, 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 blah. And they were looking at me with their mouth open, like, right? And then he told his wife, he said, give me my phone. And so she gave him her phone. He was like, look, see this here? We just left her. It was a picture of this lady, his grandmother. He said, you're not going to believe this. We just left her at the cemetery. We went to put flowers on her grave. I knew what she looked like, her energy, her personality, words she said. I knew everything about her. And then I was like, oh my God, how did I know that? So when they left, I said, oh my God, something weird just happened to me. And they were like, what happened? I said, this man is a wife of the... And I told them the story. They're like, what? They're like, you sure? Like, are you innocent? I don't even drink. I said, no. I said, it happened. And then I said, oh my God. Then I called my mom and I called my sister. I had an experience maybe the year prior going to visit my dad at the cemetery, right? And I was crying, boo-hoo, like, ah, trying to get the last scream out. I said, this is going to be the last time I come up here and cry. I'm going to get it out and it's going to be it. So I'm screaming to the top of my lungs. Nobody was at the cemetery, but at the military cemetery. it closes, the cemetery closes at sunset. So I was there by myself. I said, okay, this is a good time, right, to get it out. Then I saw a coyote run across the grass. I was like, oh my God, let me hurry, get out of here. So I said my goodbyes and my cry, and I felt something hugging me. And I turned around to look. There was nobody. I said, bye, Daddy. And I shot out the cemetery. Now, I didn't know none of this, but I knew I felt somebody touch me. So when that happened with the lady and her husband, that was another shock. I felt something weird before. I thought it didn't all happen at one time. It happened a little here, a little here, a little here. So I wouldn't lose my mind because I had to learn. And the restaurant was the school. My husband had to buy that place. Had he not bought the place, I would have never known that I had the gift. I told him, I said, no, no, don't buy the restaurant. No. I thought it was going to be on me again to take care of somebody else's another business. I was like, no, 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 are you sure? So I'll say something here. Sometimes in life, we don't understand different things that are happening, but they unfold. Write it down. Then something else will happen, and then another layer unfolds. And after the first one happened, that same day, someone else came in, and I shared something with them, and they were in tears. I'm like, how did I know that? And then whenever I would go to the restaurant, something would happen, and I would tell them. And then when people were sick, I would feel sick. People was dizzy, I'll feel dizzy. I'm like, oh my God, Daryl, I'm dizzy. I'm like, I'm never dizzy. What's going on here? And then something said, ask which one of them are dizzy. It was two ladies. I said, excuse me. I said, can I ask you a question? I said, which one of you guys are dizzy? They said, I am. So I would pick up this, I could feel. I said to the lady, I said, are you driving like that? And she said, yes. I said, oh my God. I said, you shouldn't drive like that. I said, because you're really dizzy. And it was such a dizziness that I had to hold on. I wanted to just go and put my head down on the desk in the office. It was just like that. I was like, oh my God. But there wasn't nobody there but me and Daryl. So I stand at the front. I'm like, how am I gonna get out of here? But it's a part of the experience, part of the gift. I never knew I had a gift. I never knew that everything is in divine order. I never knew that that car incident would awaken something that was in me, part of my destiny. I didn't know that. I just thought I was a licensed cosmetologist and people would come in, I would do their hair, and then I would give them, advice. I would be their counselor and stuff. And they'll come and tell me their problems, and I'll tell them what to do and my thoughts, and they would be happy. And I just thought that was it. No one could have ever told me that I would be in this space. And what I come to know that death is not the end. I believe that now, I believe now that when something happened to us, right? When we transition, we graduate Earth School. And I prayed, I said, Father God, I said, what is this? What is this? Where's the connection to this? And then Hebrews 12:1 came to me, just out of nowhere, Hebrews 12:1. So I looked at Hebrews 12:1, and it talks about the great cloud of witnesses. So we graduate Earth School and we become part of the cloud of witnesses, which is a higher level and eternity. And we continue to do work for God and expansion in the expanded space. And our loved ones are always trying to help us. I have talked to so many people because someone would tell someone, oh, this lady, and they'll give my information. They'll call me, oh yeah. Then somebody will give somebody my information. I had people call me from Timbuktu. I'm like, how'd you get my number? They'll call up to the restaurant and they'll say, can I speak to the owner's wife? Even know my name. Oh my God. And I go on the phone and say, hi. I spoke with a nun. I spoke with people I had people call me from everywhere. I'm talking about from Canada. I call it Canada. From Africa. I had people email me from Ukraine. I mean, just everywhere, the Philippines. Oh my God. I mean, just everywhere. And they want to talk to me. And I'll tell you something. I didn't know this then, but I know it now, right? I'm in the middle of that prophecy that was given to me, and it's right on point. The baffle your life in 5 months, something's gonna baffle your life entirely. That was a baffle. That was in November, December, January, February. It didn't even get to March or April. It was February when the lady and her husband came in. But so many people came in after that. And they said, oh my God, I needed this. It's mind-blowing just to talk to the souls because we're all connected, right? I can hear our loved ones that transition. I can hear. I mean, it's like, oh my God. Sometimes it is a lot. It didn't happen to me all at one time. But little by little, by little, by little, I can hear them. And they're always trying to comfort us. You know, sometimes when I talk to people and their loved ones will show up, and I'll tell you something, it didn't happen overnight, none of this. It's been happening over the years. And when I would have one experience with the situation, like a grandmother, it started like that with the grandmother energy, which is a higher vibration. That same situation will keep coming with different people, but the same situation. So I can know, oh, this is what that vibration is. Then the mother vibration. And that kept coming. People that lost their mom. I said, okay. Then the auntie, the sister, the cousin, and the friend. and the children on the female side. So I learned all the vibrations here. And then on the male side, same thing. So it went on for a while because I was in school, the restaurant. So my husband bought it from his brother. And he was ready to sell it. So my husband bought it from him. But it was all in divine order, all in a hidden plan. I had no clue. I had no clue that this was about to be a classroom. I was getting ready to learn some massive stuff to help the people that's grieving, that's having challenges. And I'll tell you something. This system that God has worked out, when someone loses a baby, whether it's stillborn, early termination, miscarriage, or just came aborted itself, I can feel it. And I know that it's a baby. If it's a baby girl or a baby boy, if it's twins, if it's multiple babies. I'm telling you, everything has a little soul. And they're always with family. No one is ever by themselves. I can hear the people that laugh. I'll tell you something, and people, we were told that, oh, when you're dead, you're dead. And no, you're not. No, you just transition from the earth suit. Everything has an expiration date. Food has an expiration date. Everything expires. The body has an expiration date. It's going to expire. When it expires, you're going to graduate, leave your expired suit behind, and you're going to go back to God and family. You know, some people, when we were growing up in church, they would say, oh, that's the devil. That's witchcraft. That's not of God. Well, no, that's not true, because I'm not of the devil. I've been raised in church all my life. I was baptized in Jesus' name. And I was filled with the Holy Spirit at 16. And, you know, I walked in Christ's ways. I'm like, well, I know I'm not the devil. I know I don't practice hocus pocus. So no, I don't believe that. I believe that there's a gift that is given. Can't speak for everybody. I have a gift, right? And I can only tell you. So I don't go out to find no one. You know how big the earth is? The ethereal realm? Can you imagine? And all the atmospheres, the solar systems, trillions of them. You can't go and get anybody. You can't go like, hi, come. You're taking them away from work that they're doing. They may be helping people. They may be spirit guides at this point. When you leave the physical realm, you continue on in greatness. You're not the body. It was an experience. It was a lesson. And I'll tell you something. I couldn't have told you this several years ago. When we're here, we're learning lessons. I'm still learning lessons.
I have to tell you that the way you described your story was very gripping for me. When you were talking about swaying with the choir, I felt like I wanted to sway with you with that choir. You used your words very well to get your story and the point across. And you said you know what love, true love feels like. How is that different than the love that you felt before your experience?
I really had hard times committing to love. I don't think that I ever been, I, I'll tell you this here. The love I felt is not like earth love. He said, oh, I love you. What do I compare that to? What do I love about you? It's an intimacy, because that's not love. That's a feeling. That's an emotion. You take the emotion out the equation, what do you have? Right? So I have to learn how to love God love. And it can be challenging because we as humans are self-centered and self-absorbed and think everything has to work around what we want. But God love is pure love. It's it is pure. It's beautiful. It's not like people says, oh, I love you. Oh, it's not like that. It's nothing like that. It's nothing like husband and wife. Oh, I love you. And I'd be like, no, you don't love me. I don't feel like this here with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel that. I never felt that with anybody. I had people say, oh, I love you. I'd be saying in my head, no, you don't. I don't feel like this. I don't feel that warmth. I'm sorry, I don't feel that. So I don't think I ever can truly love God's love.
Is that the love that you feel when you connect with people's loved ones on the other side? You feel that love again?
I feel that love all the time. When you think about somebody in deep thought, right? Say, okay, I lost my dad and I lost my sister Mimi. Mimi was my favorite sister in the whole world, right? We were like 16 months apart. And my sister left when my baby was born. He was 1 month. And I'll tell you something. And I'm glad this happened. This situation, I'm gonna tell you. So my sister Mimi was really sick. Me and my mom went to the hospital to see her. I prayed for her to stay alive. I didn't know that she was gonna leave the earth. So my sister Mimi had stayed with me 2 weeks prior to her leaving the earth. And she just came, stayed on at my house, just stayed. Just stayed. I never, okay. She was laying, she was with me 2 weeks prior to me having my baby. Then I had my baby. Then the next week she went into the hospital. So my baby wasn't even 30 days. She went into the hospital and she passed away. Within that time, he wasn't even 30 days. My sister was trying to take her IVs out. So I went to the bathroom with her. So my baby was at home with my husband. And I, had milk and everything. And I went to the hospital with my sister to check on her. And there was a whole lot going on there to leave the baby newborn to check on your sister. That's how much love, because you know you love your newborn baby, but you just want to make sure your best friend, sister, is okay. And she was in the bathroom. I went in the bathroom with her, and she looks out the bathroom door, and she said, "What is Miss Ivy Joe doing over there in that room?" All I saw was a wall. I said, "What are you talking about?" Mimi, I said, "Miss Ivy Joe died when we were 6 or 7 years old. What are you talking about?" I didn't know she was transitioning. Her expiration date was right around the corner. The veil was lifted, and she was able to see the transaction going on, the movement. To look at that lady and them kids going down the hall, just like closing your eyes, you can see them. They're right there. They're not far away from you. When you think about them in deep thought, the energy body comes to you, it comforts you, it hugs you, it lets you know they try to comfort you. I love you, don't cry, I'm here. But you can't see it. You can't even feel it. Sometimes people, they just grieve so hard, they miss their loved one, and they don't even know that they're right there. And I'll tell you something. Sometimes you get chill bumps out of nowhere. That's them hugging you, giving you tight hugs. They come to events, they come to birthdays, they come to gatherings, they come to love you. And I'll tell you something. The only way I can feel them is because you bring them with you. Right? I felt them through the phone. I literally could feel people through the phone. I could feel them through the screens. It's just like, what the heck? It's so massive and it's so well planned. And I tell people like to just, I talk to people all the time, right? And I'll share something with you. I could talk to people, right? And then all these other people start showing up, right? Out of nowhere. And I tell people before I talk to them, I said, only think about one person, maybe two at the most. And I'll say, be by yourself when we talk. Because I can feel if somebody's in the room with you, all their people come, all their people come that they've been thinking about, and it's too much. And sometimes the people that needing the help, they don't get it because those people, souls that connect, they want to see it a pull. And I had it happen. For one lady, this young lady, she brought her mother, friends, family, babies, that past transition, they all showed up. And the girl said, "Hey, when you get a chance, can I get my turn?" Sorry. No, you brought your mother. You see? So our loved ones are always there trying to get our attention. They love us so much. And they don't want us to worry. They don't want us to cry.
It's very comforting to know that they're with us.
They are.
I think that's one of the hardest things in life is to live through the death of a loved one.
But it's a graduation. And then when you graduate, you be like, "Hey, high five. Oh, hey, everybody." They're always together. I kid you not. They're, look, I had been feeling something, right? For a long time. Prior to The first time I said, oh, I felt. Mhm. When I was in the hospital, in the skilled nursing facilities, I couldn't go to a certain part of the hospital. I had no clue why. I could go to that part of the hospital. I would feel so jittery and shaky and anxious. And I'm like, I gotta get out of here. It'd be just too much, right? I didn't know I was by the morgue. I was feeling the energy bodies of the loved one. I had no clue. I could feel something go through me. It make me feel like I want to pass out. I'm like, oh my God, get me out of here. You want to just get out. Because I didn't know what was happening. It was happening all along, little by little, but couldn't put it together because I had no clue. And when my husband was in the hospital, I was at the hospital with him. I was sitting there and I felt something walk through me. And I would just go straight through me. I was like a wave. I was like, oh my God, what was that? I was like, I wanted to leave and say, I'm out of here. But I was like, oh, Father God, in the name of Jesus, cover me with the blood. But because this energy bodies, they were looking, it's walked through, and they're everywhere.
LeShi, if my viewers wanted to reach out to you, how can they find you?
I have LeShiBarnes.com. And I have an Instagram at LeShi Barnes. And I have an email, LeShiBarnes@gmail.com.
If you had one message you'd like the viewers to take away from our conversation today, what would that be?
I would like to say something. God is love. And he loves us so much that he does not take our loved ones from us. We all have expiration dates to go back to him. And when we go back to him, I know that it hurts the people that's left behind because they don't know how to move forward, right? So they only focus on the loss. I would like to say this. To start changing the narrative to for your children or those you can leave behind, because you will leave people behind. And I believe that if you change the narrative now and let them know that it's not the end, when you transition, they won't be broken like you were broken when that person left, because you will meet them again. You will connect back to them when it's time for you to graduate. You will graduate Earth School. I will graduate Earth School. And the people that left behind, if they don't know that it's not the end, that we will connect again, then they'll know how to handle it. The Bible said, rejoice when our loved ones leave. Rejoice, celebrate. It's a big deal because they're returning back to God. And you will return back to God. And you will meet your grandmother, your great-grandmother, your great-great, and your cousins, and your uncles, and your babies, and your sisters, and your brothers, and your friends. You will connect back with everybody again. And I want to say something. Whenever you think about someone in deep thought, they come to comfort you. And you'll be surprised. They may be sitting right there next to you. I'll tell you something. I was talking to this lady one time, and her daughter sees people that have transitioned. She was very sick. and she would see people. And when she was telling me these things, I heard, oh, those are your family members that you're seeing, right? And she said, oh, Mom, you remember? I told you, remember the guy? He said he was Uncle so and so, such and such. So you connect back with your family. When I heard that and I told him, she said, oh, yeah, the guy did say he was my uncle, such and such, right? So I just want you to know that our loved ones is never far away. And God loves us so much that he created people like me and others to share that message of love, because God is love. He's pure love. It's nothing like it. Nothing like it. And your loved ones are still close by. Trust me. My daddy come visit me. And they will let you know when they're here. You hear footsteps. You hear something drop. Yeah. Fly off the counter. I'm telling you, they come up. Only when you think about them in deep thought. They don't just show up at your house and watch you. Just only in deep thought. And they come to comfort you.
That is comforting. And
Yeah.
LeShi, this has been such a beautiful experience for me to spend this time with you. I adore you. Your story is beautiful. Your experiences are amazing. And I want to tell you, I'm very grateful for this time together.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed you. I enjoy your hospitality. And I'm so thankful and grateful that the platform that you have is a gift to humanity, because it shifts and changes lives. It awakens people that are experiencing hurt, brokenness, and by you giving them the gift of people to share their experiences with them, it elevates them and it gives them a little more hope. So thank you. Thank you for me and all of those that are connected to you.
Well, I certainly hope so. Thank you for that.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it. Thank you for being here. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you being here and supporting my channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing if you enjoy near-death experiences and other spiritually transformative stories. It helps the algorithm know that this information is useful and push it out to more people. And that's the goal, to get as many people to know that we are eternal spiritual beings and that we never die. Our bodies might die, but our essence will never die. And I want people to live with less fear. Let's all spread the word. Like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that little notification bell so you get all the notifications when my videos post. Thank you for all of your support. I'm sending love to you.